Instagram. Are we live? Yes, we are. Cliff, you gotta start singing for them. It's gonna be like dead air for a minute.
What, sing now?
I don't understand.
What you did, you little jerk.
For those watching, we are trying to see how this Instagram thing goes, but I don't know where to watch it.
Well, if you go to the Council of Comics, it should be there, and it should be live.
It says I have to click something on Instagram, and I don't see anything to click on Instagram.
Quite the well-oiled machine.
Notifications. I know, right? This is what you guys don't see.
All the warts are being shown right now.
Oh, whatever. I was gonna say, like half the people watching went through it this weekend.
Let's see. Is it in there? No. What? It should automatically go. Any guys out there watching stream to Instagram from StreamYard?
Brian, DM the council for help.
All right, we'll figure this out. Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast. Be back in 30 seconds. What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast, episode number 66, where we go over all the film and box office news. And plus, why aren't those parents arrested? Both of them, huh? Leave a kid alone like that. What's wrong with you?
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life. Crisis after crisis.
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to another Film and Box Office News Live podcast. This is episode number 66. Where's my background? Give me my background. There we go. Oh, yeah. Well, we go over all the film and box office news for the week, and we also do a film review. This week is Home Alone. So many questions.
Oh my God, there's a million questions.
So many questions. But first, as always, with me, loyal counsel, Cliff, green shirt guy. How are you?
What's up?
Fabulous.
Excellent. Phil will eventually make it in here. He's doing another, he's rocking it up at a Christmas party, so he has to be over there chilling. So he'll be here in a minute. And some news for next week. Since next week is Christmas Eve, we are going to do our film and box office news at 1 p.m. earlier time, and we're going to do It's a Wonderful Life. But we'll talk about that at the end of this. So remember, next week it'll be 1 o'clock, and then we'll be off on Christmas Day, so we can all enjoy our families, and then we'll be back again next week with the regular shows. Regular shows. All right, so first up, as we always do, the Young at Heart Foundation is run by our good friend Mike over in California. They do great things for kids that are awaiting transplants or medical procedures. You can become a donor by going to the website youngatheartfoundation.com, clicking on this button right here, and you can also sponsor a Hope Kit, which is 100% tax deductible, where they put together a whole bunch of good gifts to give to the kids, and sometimes they get some guests to come in as well. You can contact Mike at 323-396-9998 or info@youngatheartfoundation.com. Next up, Alternatives. This is our favorite comic book shop. This is our home base where we do everything. We buy our comic books, we film our shows, we come together once a week, and we just be a nice, big, happy family. This is located out in Hyde Park, New York at 870 Violet Avenue. To get in touch with Anthony, the comic book shop owner, great guy, best shop owner, He'll take care of anything you need. They got comics cards, the Hudson Valley's best selection of comics. They also have tournaments every weekend that involve Pokemon, Magic, Lorcana, and other great things. If you want to get in touch with Anthony and find out when those tournaments are, or if you want to order your books, because if you start a pull list, you'll get 20% off all your books and your bags and boards, all your books. They'll even do the shipping thing out to you. Get in touch with him wherever you are at. You can give him a call at 845-233-4234 or email him at alterniverse2@AOL.com and go to the website alterniverse.net. You can also find him on Instagram. And this is our channel. We're up to 720. Lately, people have just been subscribing. We're on our way to 750. That's our next milestone right there. We want to thank everybody that's been supporting. Go to the channel. We got a ton of new videos up. We have last week's new comic book day, which is the prelude to our Christmas special that's coming out this Wednesday. Very fun. Very. You get these here. Me and Cliff flex our chops in the video. We also have Toys for Tots 2023 is up. The 14th annual event was a giant success. Cliff, how much did they pull in? Let them know real quick.
$1,340, which is a record high for us, you know, and almost 600 toys. It was like 540, 580, somewhere in there.
Excellent. So you guys, so council out there, you did great. You brought a lot of toys. Check out the video. It'll show the whole event. We also have Council Conversations, which has been a steady series. It's just, you know, when we start talking in the comic shop, I just hit that record button and let it fly and just let those conversations flow. And we've been turning them into videos, and you guys have been enjoying them, which is great. Joey's got 20 views already today.
They are candid. I will say, because
yes.
Where's Sam before I say something? I don't.
Yes.
Because you know me, I just say what comes to my mind. But everyone's going,
well, that's what Council Conversations is about. We don't hold back. I mean, if you say something crazy, I'll just have you not have to speak with no sound in there. That's all that is.
Right.
We also have council interviews. We interviewed Joseph Leonard Senat's family. You can see the full interview. Joe
Senat's family.
Joe Senat's family. You can see the full video. Is it Senat or is it Senate? Because Cliff just said Senat. All right, Cliff, get your thing right. Get it right. It's Joseph Senat.
Y'all all know I have a pronunciation problem. I call the
just said it wrong.
You know?
He said it right.
At least I know them by first name.
We're talking about comic book royalty. Can we get the name correct?
At least I know who's who. I know who Mark is, Belinda, and Dorian. I got it all right. I know who's who.
Well, we interviewed all three of them. It's in the video right there. You see it. Click on it. You'll see it. We also got more conversations come up. Council FTR is also up there. Check that out, where Josh goes individually with each and everybody that he does the video with. He did Fantastic Four with Joey. We got Ronaldo doing. What did you do? You did
Detective Comics 38.
That'll be up soon. I gotta edit that. Yeah, so go to the channel, hit that subscribe button like you guys been doing, and we appreciate you much. All right, so anybody's watched this week?
Watched a bunch of stuff this week. Anything specific you I
watched
spit it out.
The World Behind.
What did I watch? I mean, I watched a bunch of Christmas stuff again. What did I watch that was interesting though? I think I watched a documentary, which I'm trying to remember what it was. So every year, anybody that knows me well knows that every year I watch Band of Brothers, only because the first time I watched it was around Christmas time, so I always associate it with Christmas. I don't, whatever, just because I watched. So I finished the last 2 episodes today. I was watching 2 a day, so I watched 2 a day all week. Still really good. If you haven't seen it, HBO, it's an old HBO series. It's about the 506 506 101st Regiment from World War II. They dropped into Normandy. They fought at the Battle of the Bulge. They took the Eagle's Nest in Germany. They did their accolades are a mile long, and it's really well done, very well acted. I can't recommend it enough.
All right. Excellent. Wait, so let's shout out some people that are in here real quick. Brian LCS is in the house. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Evils Comics is in the house. What's good, Evils? Manny the Hobgoblin Collector is in the house. Says Cliff in the council. What's up? Collecting the Durs is in the house. Hello, legends. Hello to you, Durs. You all legends.
Love you.
Hey, Margolis is in the house. What's good? Lady Fantastic is in the house. Check out Lady Fantastic. She's got a great channel. Subscribe to her channel. Free Key Louis in the house. Keep the change,
Legend.
you filthy animal. Common Cap Collectibles is in the house. Oh, you guys are all here. This is so wonderful. Feels like such a good night. Kenneth Bird is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Kamaria is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Excellent. Excellent. Cliff, you said you watched what show?
I watched the movie Leave the World Behind with Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke on Netflix. And it was interesting. The internet, well, I guess you do not know. The internet was all ablaze about the ending and like not understanding the ending or just not enjoying the ending or whatever the case, right? And I'm like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm like, the book ended with a big old question mark. So I don't know what you guys are thinking, but it was fun for me.
Interesting. I didn't really watch much because I had a lot going on.
Yeah, but
So,
if you want to enjoy an interesting end of the world flick that just leaves you thinking at the end, this is the one.
well, go out there and check that out. Let's look over some news real quick.
We're
Since
gonna
it's
talk about
been
what comes out
slow. What comes out this week?
That what's it called?
Does Aquaman come out this week?
What's that?
Aquaman's coming.
Aquaman comes.
The not Star Wars movie.
Rebel
Moon.
Thursday on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. There's been mixed reviews. Some people say it's great. Some people say it's horrible. So that's
It
what I
looks
love.
dope,
I'll go in and make my own
Right.
choice. But yeah, he's changed it up a little bit, but he said pretty much this was the movie that I wanted to do for Star Wars. So
I mean, I showed the trailer to RJ because I think it came up in my Instagram feed or something like that the other day, and he goes, "They made another Star Wars movie?" I'm like, "Well, no." He's like, "Well, that looks like." I'm like, "Yeah, it sure does."
we'll see. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder. I like his films. I like the way he shoots everything. I was a fan of most of his DC stuff. Took me a while to get used to it, but I became a fan afterwards. DC Studios boss James Gunn says lack of DC content in 2024 is great for upcoming DCU reboot.
And in that regard, he's actually right. Even though every time he opens his mouth, I'm quivering and my butthole twinges because I'm so freaking scared of what he's gonna do to Superman.
Not gonna say anything.
It's not the good
Superman.
butthole twinge.
Superman. Rumor has it, take it as you would. How I am with rumor has it, it could be true, it could not be true, but we have a show, so we got to talk about it. That Universal is waiting in the wings because if Superman Legacy fails at the box office, Warner Brothers will sell DC. They will sell DC, and then it'll be another reboot after that. So,
okay.
No, speak your mind.
It sounds like, to me, the way that's written is they've made their mind up, but they don't want to look like bad guys, so they're just couching so they can wait. They plan to sell it. They're just waiting for something that makes them look like not whatever, so they can keep the price high.
So then the price will go up if Superman is good.
Yeah, I guess.
What if Superman is $1 billion movie?
No way.
We don't think so?
No chance.
Well, you know what? We got to give it time. It could be fantastic. Just because I'm scared every freaking second that they're like Hawk Girl, Elemento. I'm like, isn't this a lot? Isn't this too much?
I mean, I don't think it will be for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think the interest in Superman's quite what it used to be, and two, it's going to be coming off Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, which we all know is going to probably tank as well. So that's going to be 3 crap DC movies in a row, and we're already talking there's some superhero fatigue. So It's not like it's coming off a goodwill of a really great movie everybody loved and made a bunch of money. So it's gonna struggle. I guarantee
there's a really big gap from December to June. I think by June people might be interested again. And if it's actually good, it can be $1 billion movie, right? But if it's a freaking disaster show after all this rebooting,
All I'm saying is the Marvels wasn't a disaster and made like no money, even though the Marvel universe has had a good track record and it didn't make any money. The DC universe has had a shit track record. Their movies keep making less. So why would this all of a sudden be the one that shoots it in the stratosphere?
Do you think
if it's good,
the Snyder
Even
fans,
if it's good, what I'm saying is even if it's good.
Do you think the Snyder fans are gonna have an effect on this movie?
I don't think that matters, to be honest with you.
I don't think that matters. The movie had okay. I'm sorry. I'm using the term "good" too loosely.
You don't think they had an effect on the other movies?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I
Do you know
think
what?
they
There's too. Maybe they did, but there's too much going on. Way too much going on. You know, the Snyder fans, the genuine superhero fatigue, the constant comparison between Marvel and DC. I mean, there's so many freaking things, you know. Did they market things properly? Were things what people expected? Switching directors on Justice League, introducing the Justice League too soon. I mean, like, there's a big laundry list here, a big laundry list of things to evaluate.
Okay.
But ultimately, if the movie is excellent, not good, but excellent, then it can go well, right? Because word of mouth will be very helpful, right?
Very true. Spider-Man 4 is rumored to be MCU's street-level version of Captain America Civil War. There was an article that came out that someone had said the preliminary draft for Spider-Man 4 was heavy with Daredevil. So it was basically a Spider-Man Daredevil team-up movie.
Sounds great.
With
I don't have a problem
Kingpin
with
as the main, not the main villain, but the background villain. And then there's another villain in there, and Vulture possibly returning.
That should have been that sounds like it should have been a Disney Plus series, and it got upgraded to a movie.
There's rumors that Spider-Man might show up at the end of Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And it'll lead into Spider-Man. I'm excited for that. If they can do with Daredevil with how they make Spider-Man look, I think it'll look amazing. Daredevil basically looks like Spider-Man when he's swinging around.
Mike makes a good comment. Can we get Spider-Man by himself first?
Yay. I think that time is past. I agree with you, Evils. I agree with you. But I think that time is past. Spider-Man is not going to be alone anymore. Unless after this movie something happens and he leads into the symbiote suit. I think this next movie will lead into the symbiote suit thing because you got Secret Wars coming up. Remember the little piece that Venom left in the MCU. So the symbiote suit is in the MCU. That's like the second or third movie in this next trilogy. Spider-Man's the main guy. Spider-Man's the main guy in the MCU. What the difficult thing is that they share it with Sony. That's the difficult thing. And Sony has to agree with everything Marvel does for them to put out Spider-Man. And then, we got the Madam Web stuff coming on. There's rumors that Venom 3 is going to have Spider-Man in it, but nobody knows which Spider-Man will show up in Venom 3. What do you guys think? Do you think Toby, Andrew, or Tom for Venom 3? Look at those kids.
I mean, I would like if I had to choose, and that's really a thing, then I would choose Andrew.
I agree. I would choose Andrew as well.
Because basically Toby already had a Venom fight, so that really doesn't make sense here. Andrew would be the most interesting if it turns out that this was his world, right? And then, and if it's Tom Holland,
think it has
then
to
it would
come.
it would be multiverse madness in order for that to work.
Why does it have to be Tom Holland, Green Shirt Guy?
Because he's the MCU Spider-Man.
Right, but those movies aren't necessarily the MCU. They're MCU adjacent.
Yeah, but if we're saying that all of the stuff that happens with Sony at some point is going to fold into the MCU to make it all make sense, that why would you not use Tom Holland?
No, because we already know it's a separate universe because of Morbius, because Vulture was transported to that
eventually
world.
want it to all.
Right, but then you rewrite everything. That's the whole point
Then
of
why,
Crisis.
yeah, but why
and
would you
Secret
make it
War
more
and stuff.
difficult for yourself on the back end? Just make it easy.
Because you want to sell tickets by having people go, "Oh my God, Tom Holland's in the movie."
Okay, if you want to sell tickets, who's the bigger draw?
You can do what?
If you want to sell tickets, who's the bigger draw? It's not Tobey Maguire and it's not Andrew Garfield.
Right, you're right. You do that. You do Tom Holland.
So
And
you
even if
agree
it-
with me.
But because I'm saying you would have to do a multiverse thing unless
Which
they
they're
do
already
it
doing
after
anyway.
Secret War.
Yeah, but we're already saying they're already saying basically there already is a multiverse because the end of the last Spider-Man movie was basically a multiverse movie, where you kind of teased all that stuff anyway.
Very true.
I'm just saying, if they want our established Spider-Man up against the established Venom, it's a multiverse event.
Right.
Like, how did you get here?
This little story down here. DC Studios co-chair James Gunn says Matt Reeves' Arkham TV series is set in the DCU. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is the stuff that
This is
drives
where he
me
needs to
nuts.
keep his mouth shut. He makes me freaking crazy, this man.
This drives me nuts. If you
I'm
wanna
glad I'm not
keep-
the only one. I'm
if
glad
you
I'm not the
want-
only
right?
one.
So tell me if I'm wrong. If you want to keep them separate, why are you doing this? Because automatically people are going to think Matt Reeves, oh, Arkham, Batman, oh, I guess the Batman's in your universe. No, it's not in our universe. But then you go,
Unless it happens to be Matt Reeves, happens to be an Arkham series, but happens to be in the DCU and is away from the Batman universe.
I just wouldn't do Matt Reeves. He's already said he wants nothing to do with that other universe. He wants to be separate from it. So now he's going to do a
maybe
show
they're
in the
okay.
DCU. Okay, I think that's good on I think we're good on the movie news. That's pretty good. All right, let's get into the box office.
Box office.
The domestic box office. And Wonka comes in at number 1
I want to
with
see this.
39 million buckaroos.
I definitely want to see this.
You see that? There's a movie nobody asked for, people invested in. Green Shirt Guy wants to see it. I'm curious about it.
You just like Chalamet.
Not that much. Not that much.
I hear it's a great movie.
It looks good. It looks,
Right, and
it
again,
looks
word
like
of mouth about the movie is very good.
I mean, obviously, I haven't seen it. What it looks like from the trailers, at least, is that it's. You're right. Not a story we asked for, but it's new. They're adding new elements to it, but it's honoring what that's already there instead of just going, well, F that. We're going to do our own thing.
Well, eventually I'll get to see it. They say Christmas time is like holiday time to watch movies. I don't ever have any time to go watch movies. But
Well, because Christmas Day is a big theater day.
It is.
Yeah.
Although my wife says we're not allowed to go because that's not fair to make people work. I'm like, the theater's open anyway.
it's already open.
You know, it's not like I'm making it open for me. Because it's not fair. They won't do it if nobody comes. I'm like, nobody's coming, but all right.
Do we think 39 million is a lot?
For an opening weekend? For that movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
This
For
is
that movie,
considered
sure.
this is considered a big movie though, is it not?
Yeah, it's
I
pretty big.
mean, is it a Christmas movie though? It kind of looks like it's a Christmassy movie too.
Yeah, I would think it's a Christmas movie if they're releasing it around this time.
I'll be curious to see where it is, in like 2 or 3 weeks. If it stays strong for the next 2 or 3 weeks, then it'd be interesting.
Yeah. The
And
Hunger
it's only
Games.
opened here, right? It didn't open worldwide, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
The Hunger Games comes in at number 2, staying strong with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I love this movie. I'm telling you guys, go out and see this movie. It only dropped 37%. I want to see where it's at worldwide. 289. I think it only had a budget of about 120, 130. So I think this, with the fact that it's staying strong at number 2, I think it makes a good argument for a sequel to come out, because if it breaks over 300, I think you should make a sequel to this. I think there's many more Hunger Games stories that could be told, but of course there's no book, so she would have to write a book, I guess, before they
don't
make
need a
another movie.
They could just like ask her
I'm
thoughts.
I'm sure
Well,
she's
how
got
much does it cost
treatments.
to make this one though?
Yeah,
Like around 120.
we don't know the budget
130.
on this movie, do we?
That's what I'm saying. How much it cost to make it?
It's like around 120, 130.
By the way, the
believe
worldwide is already at 289 for this movie.
Yeah, that's what I just pulled
That's
up.
terrible.
Did you not just see me pull it up?
No,
Did you?
no,
Can't we all just get along?
no.
Jeez. And number 3 dropping from number 1. That wasn't number 1 last week.
The Boy and the Heron?
That was not number 1 last
Did
week.
we just completely forget about it? We could have just forgotten
that
about
was-
it.
That was not
No,
number
it
1.
wasn't.
but
It was. No, I don't think it was.
they messed up on that one. That was not number 1. But it made 5 million, dropped 60%. Did go up in 120 screens. Godzilla -1 drops to number 4.
Dude, it was The Boy and the Heron was number 1 last week. at
Really?
13
How
million. Yes.
Really? We
Yep.
completely
And The
looked
Hunger
over
Games was
that
number
movie.
2.
And we went
Wow.
right over it because we didn't know what it was.
Wow, the disrespect we showed. We are sorry.
We don't even
I'm not-
remember
I'm not
you.
sorry. Not that sorry.
Godzilla made 5 million, only dropping 43%, went up 82 theaters. Trolls Band Together still hanging in there, made 4 million, dropped 34%. Wish dropped 40%, making about 3.2. Napoleon still hanging in at number 7, dropped 45%. That also dropped in about, it got removed from 749 screens. Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, dropped 64%, still brought in about 2 million. Poor Things jumped from 17 to number 9. It's gone in about 73 plus more theaters. The Shift dropped 50%, made $1 million. Animal under $1 million. 17 tour followed to Japan live viewing, made 700. I don't know what is this. What is this? Broadcast live from Japan's Fukuoka PayPay Dome. 17 tour something to Japan live viewing comes to cinemas across the world. And their large scale domes tour. Oh, this is a group.
They're a K-pop.
So they're
group.
doing the same Beyonce. Yeah. Man, you can't compete with those K-pop. K-pop is just dominating the world. They just took the formula for the Backstreet Boys and upped it up to
Amplified it by
35.
1 million.
And made it relevant to the Asian market so they can make $1 billion, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
And somehow got a hold on Americans
Yeah.
who don't even understand the lyrics but are obsessed.
Well, except for their
Yeah.
one or like 2 songs that are in English, but yeah.
Yeah, the American youth love K-pop. They
I get
really love K-pop. I've come to understand generation to generation. Each generation has their own thing. You know what I mean? I said a lot of things about my parents. I was like, what? But it is what it is. Silent Night comes in at number 13. Thanksgiving. The Marvels is still around. Made 500. People are still going to the theater to see the Marvels.
Well, it's not on.
Some people
Disney
give it a
Plus yet.
chance.
It's not on
Yeah.
Disney Plus yet.
Yeah. The Holdovers, Die Hard re-release, still making money. American Fiction comes in. A Lean Dream Scenario, Love Actually re-release. The Zone of Interest, Journey to
Yeah.
Bethlehem. Killers of the Flower Moon still staying in the top 30. Radical, Priscilla, Five Nights at Freddy's, Anatomy of a
Oppenheimer.
Fall. Oppenheimer still made another 24.
Yeah, but you know he's just sticking it out so he can hit the big number. That's what he's doing.
You're not wrong. I think we said
Yeah.
that last week. They want to be able to say they had $2 billion movies in 2023.
Anselm made 17. Common Ground finishes out the list, made 4,500, but it's up 760%. It's only in 2 theaters. It was only in 1 theater before. Shout out to Common Ground for making the list. All right, so that's the box office. We'll see next week what Aquaman does.
And you know what? Common Ground is the kind of movie we should actually care about to watch as a society, and like it's at the bottom.
Yeah, because there is no more Common Ground.
Common Ground is the what do you call it? It's a documentary about regenerative farmers to bring soil health across the continent. So, good to know.
Interesting. All
I'm
right.
not gonna lie, I have no interest.
No.
I don't.
Uh-oh. We got a troll.
I got rid of him already.
Oh, I just seen it now. Hey, you troll, you political trolls, you stay out of our comment section. We're not doing that here.
Dude, he's not even listening. I booted him.
It's
Yeah.
hot.
Well, they're probably watching though. Could be
No, they're
watching
not
for someone
watching.
else.
You can't watch when I blocked you.
Oh my goodness. Get him out of here. Larry's in the house. What's good, Larry? Chilling.
Oh, crap.
What'd you do?
I accidentally deleted an innocent person's message.
See, that's
I'm
Cliff's
sorry.
fault. You guys can write in the comments. It's Cliff's fault. We tell him not to touch certain buttons, but he just wants to keep touching buttons.
Well, I
all
want
the time.
Troll bots.
Stop touching buttons.
Jeez. All right. So everybody's homework for last week was to watch Home Alone. Home Alone. The 1990 film by Chris Columbus, written by John Hughes, starring Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. Came out in 1990. It's about an 8-year-old troublemaker mistakenly left home alone, must defend his home against a pair of burglars on Christmas Eve. A lot of questions with this movie, man. A lot of questions with this movie. I'll let you guys start off first. Green shirt guy, go ahead.
A couple things. Right off the back, one that I noticed, because I think I saw something on the internet the other day, so I was looking for it this time. So remember the scene at the beginning of the movie where, well, first of all, police officers don't go around and check to make sure that you're doing your security due diligence on your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
even near a major city like Chicago, they don't do that. They may send, if anything, in the bureaucratic and political world we live in, they're going to send you a thing home saying, hey, this is the time of year where burglaries happen. Maybe you should, but they're not going to come spend money and man hours going out to everyone's house, even in a rich neighborhood. That doesn't happen.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's in a rich neighborhood. Yes, in a rich neighborhood, which also doesn't make sense, right? Because we're not told they're rich. Right?
We know they are, though, right?
But also it's the uncle that paid for the trip to Paris who got the fabulous job in Paris, right? So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really add up, because what does this boy's father do? It is a fabulous home in Chicago.
It's
so right
huge.
off the bat,
every house in that neighborhood's big if you look at it too.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But it's crazy. So yes, I believe it, and I believe it for a rich neighborhood. I'm not too thrown off by that. I'm more thrown off by not knowing what the father does.
If it's a rich, it's like a gated neighborhood, and they had the paid security guard going around. I don't buy the Chicago PD going out to some suburb.
In Tuxedo, New York, I went to go see a client, and it is gated. The local police manage the gate and manage the grounds. I couldn't believe it.
I still don't buy the Chicago PD going out to a suburb and doing that.
If it's a rich neighborhood and they have a homeowners association that pays for the service, you better believe it's happening.
Okay, I'll buy that. If you get, I'll buy that. That I will buy. Okay. But can we at least think that it's unlikely? I will buy that. What you're saying? But I don't. At the age of my childhood, I would have thought this was unlikely. At the age I am now, and what I have seen in my adult life, I think maybe this probably could have happened somewhere. Okay.
So it's like, but you're right. It's a little wishy-washy and unexplained. We're just supposed to accept it. That's true, right?
Well,
With zero explanation.
His presence just in the house. Nobody's thinks it's odd. Like none of the children think it's odd that a police officer is standing in the foyer.
Again, if this is a regular thing, that
right. But what I'm saying is even Fuller and Kevin don't look at him. And at that age, police officers, firefighters, all that, these are jobs that kids that age still think they want to do. Not that some of them don't today. Would at least go up and talk to the guy.
But if you already know Officer Jim and Officer Phil regularly, right, then it's not the same thing.
Well, then why is he in the house if you'd already know him?
Again, not really well sussed out.
Okay. All that said, so then pizza guy shows up, right? And they pay for the pizzas, which there's a whole thing with that. But Kevin comes down, and remember all his pizza's gone, so he runs it, he pushes in the buzz, milk goes everywhere. If you watch, they're wiping up all the milk off the little island, and the dad takes a bunch of stuff and throws it in the trash can. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, it's Kevin's plane ticket.
Right. So if you threw away Kevin's plane ticket, how do they have the plane ticket over there at the airport?
Well, that's why they probably don't.
To account for
they don't have it.
That's probably.
We all know if you go through TSA, I don't know if this is. I can't remember if it was the same thing, but you still had to go through this thing where they looked at your ticket and your boarding pass and all that stuff, and then they let you through.
Remember in the second one, when he's trying to get on the plane, to go, and he ends up going to New York City because she's like, "Oh, it's your boarding pass here," and he's like, there's a pile of them. So yeah, that still happened back then. But what I'm saying is maybe it's a little slightly believable because they don't have his ticket, so they're not worried about when they get to the thing. But what I would say, I will buy that the parents. Dara looked at me because she left. She watched about half of it, and then she had to go do something. I will buy that the parents sit in first class and the kids sit in business or coach or whatever, right? Not more often than not, probably not going to happen. I'll buy that they do that. But if I'm a parent, and as a parent, I got an 8-year-old kid, I sit him in his seat and make sure he's situated before I go get in mine.
Right.
I don't miss him getting on the plane. This doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Again, she is very heavily distracted by the whole thing.
You're not his parent, Cliff. I don't care how distracted you are. You know your children are when you're going on a major trip like that.
Okay, who here had a parent who could let them get lost in a store once or twice or in the mall? Anyone?
In a store, not to go on an international flight.
Yeah.
Let me tell. Well, they're
hugely different.
For granted.
My grandmother whooped my tail one day because I got lost in the store.
Let me ask you this: did your mom drive all
Merry
the way
Christmas,
home
Legion.
and start making dinner before she realized she left you at the store?
No, she told me. Okay,
no, she didn't.
No. She told me to stay in
but
one
my
spot,
father did,
and I didn't stay there. So, looking back, it's a little suspect for my grandmother to leave me on a bench to eat some ice cream. Oh man! All right, so she calls the police to go check on her son.
Right.
I think at that moment, be like, all right, ma'am, as soon as you touch down, we're going to have to arrest you and your husband for leaving this minor.
They're not even going to go that far. They're going to call CPS to go get the kid.
Right. I was going to say, they're not going to take them to court, but they are going to call CPS. It is going to be bad. It's going to be a little bit rough.
How about the scene where, and this only bumped up against me today, the scene where Marv and Harry are sitting in the van, and they're going over the plan of what they're about to do, right? And he's like, "Oh no, I got it all figured out. Watch this. 672, lights go on now. 673, the lights go on." And I'm going, if they're all on a timer for 7 o'clock, why are they going off at different times? They don't come on at the same time.
No, because it's to imply everyone in the neighborhood everyone in the neighborhood set a different time to
Right,
make
but
it
like within a minute of each other.
it's possible. And again, if this is a neighborhood watch neighborhood, this is a neighborhood association neighborhood.
So if there's a neighborhood watch, where's the neighborhood watch?
Well, because most of these people left for vacation. That's part of the problem. Most people left the neighborhood. Listen, that's the thing, right? There's too much to pick apart here. We shouldn't be picking apart. The movie is lovely for what it is.
Evil said, "No, this is what we do here. We tear movies apart.
Let
We
me
tear
say
them
that,
apart."
and I'm saying this knowing that I love this movie. So I'm just picking apart the logic, and you'll get my honest review at the end. I'm just picking at the threads. I love this
if
movie.
we were writing this movie now, we would have better exposition written into our scenes, you know?
Yeah,
because
Brian says Home Alone is as violent as Die Hard. Changed my mind.
Brian's not wrong. This movie
it's just
is
not,
still...
the blood isn't really shown. He's not wrong.
No, there's no blood, but there's a lot of violence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kamara says my 1-year-old and a half-year-old, my 1.5-year-old niece pointing at the TV like, Sam, hi. Ah, that's sweet. That's so sweet, little baby. Kamara says wherever this movie takes place, the people there can't drive. Yeah, what's up with
That's
them
true.
always hitting that sign all the time?
Well,
Like,
and it never dents the front of not the sign, it's a statue.
well, the statue. Yeah,
It
the
never
statue.
dents the car.
Again, we are talking about Chicago in 1990, so I'm not sure.
Cliff, the defender of the 1990 Chicago.
Yeah.
No, I'm not defending it. I'm saying this is 1990 Chicago. I don't know what's up.
What up, Comic Vet? Thank you for joining us.
I also love, how about this? Remember the part where he goes to the store and he's talking, the conversation about the toothbrush always makes me laugh. Where he's like, is this approved by the American Dental Association? And the woman's like, I don't know, I'll ask. And the guy gets annoyed that he asks her to find out. And then the pharmacist comes up and he's like, I don't know, just tell him whatever, basically. So if you remember while that's going on, old man Marley comes in and then cuts him in line.
Yeah, slaps
You
his
can't wait
hand.
in line behind him. He cuts him in line. Otherwise, none of that happens.
Legion said I would never misplace Finn anywhere for a split second. I never take the kids out of my sight in public.
Thank you.
Very, very true. Kamara says my mom had 4 of us, and the worst that ever happened was one of us got misplaced in Walmart. But we were taught to go to a cashier and have them call for her over the intercom.
Correct. Well, so
Miss Carrington, can you come to the front? We have your daughters here. Miss Carrington.
That's one of the things I was going to get to, right? So Kevin, 8 years old, he can do laundry because we see him using the washing machine. Not very well, but he's at least using it. He goes grocery shopping by himself. He's doing the dishes at one point. No 8-year-old's doing that. He clearly cleans up after himself because the house is still pretty immaculate until the romp at the end.
He is a super genius.
Right. But yet he doesn't think to call the cops. There's no phone number for the uncle in Paris. He doesn't think to call somebody in the neighborhood saying, hey, I'm here by myself. Does anybody know where my family is? None of that happened. None of that occurs to this kid who can take care of himself.
Defend it.
Well, the boy has an engineering mind, but he doesn't have a lot of common sense.
Does he have an engineering mind? Does he?
Yes,
I'm
he
kind of
does.
like, how did this kid come up with all this stuff here?
Yeah, if that's not
he can't even pack his suitcase.
I don't know what we're talking about.
His mother has to pack his suitcase, and he's creating all these gadgets and everything.
Well, here's what the French call les incompetents.
Legion, he only starts keeping house after being bored and wrecking it.
With
very, very true.
No, before he does that, you see him use the washing machine. He's downstairs because remember, that's one of the plots that kind of, I think, was supposed to be a bigger story, and they end up cutting it with the furnace. Remember, the furnace is talking to him. He says, "Shut up." That's because he's down there doing laundry, doing his own laundry.
Yeah. Legion also said if you wrote this movie with better exposition, it would be a terrible movie. Thank God it's not. Larry says, remind me of people in Beacon hitting that dummy light.
Yep.
What dummy light?
There is a you know what? We'll talk about it later. But yes, I know.
Cliff rides hard for 90 Chicago. He's got the
I
album
do ride
too.
hard, but not for 90 Chicago.
He's got the album too. I seen it. Don't let him fool you. He only you did that one already. Who are you taking with prep time, Kevin or Batman? Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Who is this kid?
That's
Who
not
is
bad.
this kid? Evil says, think it's implied he never calls due to him wanting to be home
Well,
alone.
But then he complains about missing his family every 5 minutes, and all he wants is them to come back.
Well, I think that's what kids do, right? Like the
Right,
kids
that's what I'm
wish
saying.
that,
So at no
and they
point
get
does he
it, and then
think-
they're like, "Oh, this is not fun anymore."
At
You know
no
what I
point
mean?
does he think I need to go get help. I think it's funny. I mean, it's fine because otherwise we don't have a movie. But
Yeah.
I do like the way it's subtle, smart writing though. Having said all the loopholes, that little things that we need to know for later aren't smashed into your face or told to you. You just notice them. Like the spider that he needs to pick up and throw on Marv's face later, we just see scurry off after he steals the stuff for Buzz. He needs to go to the grocery store for something or other that he needs later. All these little things end up, it's like, oh, we see it now, but it's not like, oh, guess what? I need this. Let me go buy this off the shelf. And then you just kind of see it. And then later, like, oh yeah, that makes sense because I saw whatever later or before. I think it was just smart writing.
Larry says, "As far at the end of Main Street, you make that turn. It's a light post in the middle of the street."
And
I
I
think I know
sent
what
you
you're
guys a
talking
picture.
about.
I sent you a picture.
Yeah, I saw it. Kamara says, "I wonder why the family doesn't have any family or friends close enough to check on him. You mean to tell me it was faster for you to fly back from Paris than to
Well, I
send
don't
cousin
disagree.
Pam 2 counties over?"
I don't
Very
disagree.
true.
I again believe it has to do with wealth and with the whole neighborhood being out of town.
Unless
You
the
know?
whole family's going to Paris.
Yeah, the whole family basically going to Paris.
I would think if everybody knows everybody's going out of town, I'd be like, we're gonna get robbed.
By the way, also, all this wealth that I'm talking about, but why don't you hire a house sitter? It's 1990. People
Well,
heard
that's
about
that
that back then.
Very, very true. Very true. Wonder if it has
How
a
about-
picture.
And I noticed this too. So remember the conversation that he finally has with old man Marley in the church, right? They have this nice, beautiful conversation about family, and that family doesn't mean you never have to say you're sorry, but like you should at least do it because at least you'll know either way. And he says the whole thing about you're a little kid. They have this nice, beautiful conversation, but at no point does this guy who apparently knows Kevin's home by himself say, you know what? Why don't you come to stay at my house until your parents get back? I'll take care of you. Or do you want me to come and check on you every day? Or I can stay over until your parents get back. At no point does he say any of that. He clearly knows the kids alone.
At least he comes in for the rescue, which is very
He
he
saves
does.
him though. He
He
saves
does.
him, which is cool. I like that. And the touching moment. Oh my god! I don't mean to jump to the end, but when he got to me, remember he told the story about his son doesn't talk to, and he's just
Right.
like, just call him. And then he looks through the window and he sees that he called him, and the family get together. I told Kamara, I said that acting, just his look back at them in the window, and I was like, I felt every moment of that. Felt every moment of that.
let me tell you, great actor, because you're right. Just to do the face to make you feel something is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil
I do love
said-
the scene where Kevin comes out of the house though, and he yells, you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. And he looks up and he runs back in. That one makes me laugh every time.
The movie starts out and Kevin is invisible so much they leave him. They leave him and he only wants to be seen. He even starts spending more time in the hated brother's room. Very true.
Well, he was in the brothers' room before that though.
Yeah, but it was like as an annoyance versus like, oh my god, maybe he actually starts to miss these people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
This guy right here. Oh, the scene with this.
Sergeant Balzac.
Oh my goodness. This hilarious classic scene.
Yes.
Get you no good. And it back in the days I was like, that's done very well. That's done very well.
Well,
It
it's
has to
done
be
so
really
well that
loud,
you
too.
think, I don't know about you, but it was done so well that I actually thought it was an old movie that they just used a clip of. I'm like, I would actually mind seeing this movie in total.
They made this movie, right? This is not a real movie,
no,
right?
this is fake. It's completely fake. Completely fake.
Oh, TM Nerdy's in the house. What's good, my
Travis.
friend?
How about, did you know the scene where Kevin puts a spider on Marv's face and he screams? So
Yeah.
when they filmed it, he didn't really scream. He just pantomimed it because he was worried the spider might freak out and bite him. So so the scream was ADR'd in later.
Incredible.
They didn't go to the airport.
Look at that house, man. That's $1
You
million
can't visit that
house
house.
today. That's $1 million house today.
At least $1 million in Chicago. In
Yeah.
the Chicago suburbs, probably way more than that.
Yeah, that's $1 million house today. Kamar says it is sad he gets mistreated, but like you can't deny Kevin for sure had his disrespectful moments. He called his mom a dummy when he went up the stairs. Yeah.
Oh
you
yeah.
The fact that he didn't get slapped across his face for saying that right there, man.
Good night,
Listen.
Kevin.
Yeah.
The house from Home Alone's current value is $2.39 million.
No, you
Oh.
beat me to it. I was looking it up.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's wild. There's
Wolf.
Oof. When he finds the nudie magazine, he's
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
everybody's naked in
No
there.
clothes on anybody.
Ew.
Disgusting.
Larry says, I thought that was a real movie. Me too,
A
Larry.
lot of people
I thought,
did.
I thought that was a real movie. There we go. Sleeping. Then he's got a little Freddy Krueger. He's scared of a little
Well, that's what I'm saying. This, I
boiler.
think, there was supposed to be more with, and then it just, because it felt like there's a piece missing, and then because he gets over it too fast.
Mhm. The infamous cop in the scene. These two became classics after this, man.
No,
Like
absolutely.
Joe Pesci was already known, you know what I mean? But this kind of like blew them up, and of course in part 2 as well.
When they first started shooting it, he was actually cursing. Because you know how he just says gibberish in this movie? The
Yeah.
director's like, he goes, no, this is a kid's movie. You can't do that. So then they came up with that gibberish talk for him to say instead.
I can imagine it. This guy
Like he goes,
doing
I can't film that. Like you got to knock it off.
Oh, hilarious.
All I know is Daniel Stern could have used more work after these movies.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
He did some movies, but he never got big. He did what? Rookie of the Year, I think, was after this.
Yeah. Oh, and we all remember that.
Well, I'm
right?
not saying it's a great movie, but maybe that's the choices he made.
I'm just saying, like, Joe Pesci got a great career going for himself, and Daniel Stern was like, and I'm here too.
I mean, his biggest, probably the one that people forget, was he was the narrator on Wonder Years.
Yeah, I forget that all the time. He does have City Slickers 1 and 2.
Yes.
He has bushwhacked. Evil says that photo is an Easter egg. It's actually a little boy dressed as a little girl. They didn't want people making fun of the little girl, so I think it's a cameraman's son dressed up.
Is that right? That's funny. I didn't know that.
I can see it.
That's funny.
The wet bandits. They leave the sink on. I remember watching the movie, and then when they go to the neighbor's house, I was like, why is the floor filled with water? And I was like, oh yeah, this is the wet bandits.
I mean, of all the things they do, that's probably the worst, because that's,
yeah. I
mean, steal stuff, but fixing a house that's water damage, forget it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Right.
Joe Pesci's like, you're sick, you know that, right? They're robbing people's houses, but that's the thing that makes them sick, leaving the water on.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because one guy's like, first of all, they've been friends they were friends for so long. I just love this. I love that John Candy's here.
Cliff, you're telling us in the shop. What's the story about this with this movie?
What about just their friendship?
No, somebody. It was in the shop that somebody said that he showed up for one day. He got paid the minimal to be in this movie.
Yeah,
somebody at the shop was talking about it, but
Is that right?
he was friends with the guys. He was like, yeah, I'll come for one day, and they didn't pay him a lot of money, and he was like one of the best guys on the set. Like he was just having fun.
He's fabulous. And the thing is, like, and of course nobody knows this, right? Like nobody puts together. At least in this whatever fog ran, but SCTV featured John Candy, featured Eugene Levy, featured Catherine O'Hara. And who's my other favorite from there?
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Who's the other guy that was with him too? The McKenzie brother. The other one's another big guy too. Dave Thomas.
Yes, and Martin Short.
Martin Short.
And Andrea Martin. Anyhow, I used to watch that stuff on Nick at Night as a kid, and of course, once I realized it was Canadian, I was even happier. But
Joe Flattery.
Joe Flattery, yes. All these people are friends for a very long time. I'm missing someone who's important in this, but not important to the story. Anyhow, so they're all very friendly, including the director. I think he directed a few episodes. Anyhow, they're all very friendly, and so John Candy was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." Yes, I remember the polka. Remember when they even did Superman the movie to polka? That was amazing.
You're like, you don't know who I am? Like
Polka. Oh, some pretty big hits for us.
The Kenosha Kickers.
He's like, he kind of looks like kind of surprised she doesn't know him.
Yeah.
I used to visit my cousin out in Kenosha. That's why when he said the Kenosha Kickers, I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about.
662 copies in Chicago, Sheboygan.
Yeah.
Sheboygan. Harold Ramis was was on SCTV. That's the other one you're probably forgetting.
I know that was the one who's important because he then opened up the Second City troupe in Chicago, by the way. And, and now there's a beautiful dedication to him there.
Yeah. Brian says, I miss John Candy. We all do, my friend.
I watch like 3 John Candy movies a year.
Tell me you wouldn't watch a John Candy movie about that character.
I would.
Oh, definitely. Oh, my God. Definitely would be. All right, so let's give our numbers real quick. Cliff, you go first.
It's an 8. You know, I like it enough, and I like it enough to watch it over and over again, and it still makes me laugh. You know, but it's also not high enough that I think of it as peak cinema and let me watch it 1,000 times.
Green shirt guy.
8.5. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I watch it every year.
It is one of my favorite Christmas movies, that's for sure.
Yeah, I give it an 8.5.
I want to give it a 9, but I can't get it there.
It's very entertaining. So we're at about like 8.5 for this movie. Great movie. You guys should watch it. Leave in the comments what you think. Legion, that last comment, I'd watch a show called Cliff's Chicago Facts.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. It's gotta have that theme music in the background.
Horrifying. I love it.
All right. So that's our show. Next week we have a special
tomorrow.
Time. All right. I'm getting to it. Give me a second here.
I'm too excited.
Next week, we won't be at 5 p.m. on Sunday. We will be at 1 p.m. just for next week because it's going to be Christmas Eve. We wanted to get the last show in before the holidays. So remember, 1 p.m. And your homework is It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart.
And Donna Reed.
And Donna Reed, yeah.
Donna Reed. There's a bunch
That's
of
right. Every time
there's a bunch of great people, but it's Donna Reed, and we are not to forget her.
Yes. So It's a Wonderful Life. It's a black and white movie. Don't watch if it's not black and white. Stop watching it. It's not the movie you're supposed to be watching.
Well, they colorized it, but it's not as good.
Is there a colorized version?
There is a colorized version.
Yeah.
There's a colorized version.
So make sure Jimmy Stewart, because I just love that movie so much.
If you want to watch the colorized version and see where he's in the water and it looks like he's swimming in ink, go ahead. But
So tune in 1 p.m. next Sunday, Film and Box Office News, Christmas Eve special. Tomorrow, Cliff, I'm here at 8 p.m. We are doing new keys and hot comics of the week. We are doing the giveaway. And you say, well, why are you doing a giveaway? Because we won't have a show the following Monday because it will be
Christmas.
And we're not doing a show on Christmas. We want to spend time with our families.
But tomorrow you've got 3 tomorrow night you have 3 chances to get
giving away three ducks.
And
we're
then we'll
duck
run
you 3 times. Because
maybe we'll run reindeer.
I don't know. I haven't.
I have the option, so we can.
Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. Reindeer, duck, whatever it is. We added some more prizes to the box. Alternaverse also added some prizes into the box. And it's just a big thing. So tomorrow, 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific, join us here. Same channel, same time. So you can be entered into winning the great prize that we will run a race for at the end of the show. All right? It's big. All right. So that's our show for today. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're on Facebook, jump over to the YouTubes. I don't think it went to Instagram. I'm gonna figure that out for the future. We'll see what happens because I really want our Instagram fans to get a taste of this. But we'll figure that out. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and let them know what the world's greatest comic book channel is all doing over here. All right? For myself, for Cliff, for Green Shirt Guy, and for Phil, who's not here. He's partying away at the Christmas party. And the rest
Phil's
of the
lit
council,
right now.
Yeah. And the rest of the Council of Comics, we love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.